a creature unchanged from the Ice Age, perhaps even an ancestor of Neanderthal man. The snowman became the object of extensive expeditions. Year after year, teams from England, France, America, and Japan combed the mountains for proof that the snowman did exist. Anthropologists and naturalists joined in the search, looking in vain for bones or a dead carcass, for something physical to bring home to a Western world of skeptics. Among the things they did find was this cave in 1958, said to be the lair of the Yeti. And in 1961, what was said to be the hide of a Yeti. And even its alleged mummified hand. And what was said to be the hide of a Yeti's scalp. These artifacts, plus eyewitness testimony, convinced many of the Himalayan travelers that the snowman did exist. The leader of one expedition, however, does not agree. Sir Edmund Hillary, the first man to reach the top of Everest, led an expedition in 1960 to search for the snowman. After analyzing the mysterious footprints in the snow, he contends they were made by known animals. Footprints, he said, change shape, grow larger as they continuously melt and refreeze. He brought the alleged artifacts of the Yeti back to England for examination. The scalp turned out to be that of an antelope, the hide that of a bear.
I believe that many of the sightings, perhaps, of the abominable snowman came from people seeing this very rare animal, the Tibetan blue bear. One reason for saying this is that we obtained some skins of the blue bear, and on seeing them, the Sherpas would immediately say, "Yeti, Yeti," because all the markings on the chest and on the creature fitted in with the stories they'd told us about what the Yeti looked like.
At the Smithsonian Institution, Secretary S. Dillon Ripley, ornithologist and a veteran traveler in the Himalayas, agrees.
I am convinced that it is possible in the mountains to have things elude one for generations. There are several birds that I'm still looking for and hope to find before I'm through. I'm also convinced that this kind of vast space high up does have an effect on people. The first trip I made in the Western Himalayas when I was 13 years old, I became entirely aware of the sensitivity of the Tibetans who lived there towards myth and legend and folk tale. It is quite possible as you go by a mountain where there is a narrow gulch and a stone comes rolling down soundlessly, just missing your head, barely avoiding you, as it were, it's quite possible to believe that someone, some evil genius, just rolled that stone down. If you project this kind of imaginatory thing, this episode where a real stone just misses you, at the altitude of 13, 14, 17, 18, 20,000 feet, whatever it may be, you can easily realize that it's a question of mental imagery and the possibility that you yourself can be deluded.
And yet, reports of the abominable snowman's possible existence continue to come in. In July 1974, a Sherpa girl, Loch claimed she was attacked by the snowman. In the last several years, however, a search for a similar creature has begun elsewhere, in America, where the giant is said to have migrated on what was once the Bering Straits land bridge. In the Dalles, Oregon, the first center has been opened to collect known data on the alleged monster, the American Yeti, known as Bigfoot.
What happened? Do you think you actually saw something or heard something? Okay, did it look like a man? Was it walking upright? Okay, how big do you think it was?
Before coming here, Peter Byrne of Ireland previously spent 16 years in the Himalayas, looking for the Asian counterpart of Bigfoot.
I decided to leave the Himalaya and come here and get into the Bigfoot investigation and search because I felt there was more chance of coming to a conclusion in this area, in this country. Here, there are many advantages that we didn't have in the Himalayan searches. There's a system of roads that enable you to get into the back country. There's communications, telephone, radio, and so on. We had none of these things in the high Himalaya. The terrain was extremely difficult. We could have gone on for years and years there, I think, whereas here, although it's been 3.5 years, I think we will come to a conclusion quite soon.
First found in Indian folklore, Bigfoot has become an American legend. Now some hope to prove that legend a reality. Does a wild, giant, man-like monster called Bigfoot roam the American forests? Could a sizable population of 8-foot, 500-pound creatures exist on the edge of an industrialized society? American scientists emphatically say no.